I'm Karen DuBose.
My name is Alan DuBose, and our granddaughter Olivia have been involved in the Boys and Girls Club for almost four and a half years.
Lottie Ferguson. I've been a member of the board, more than 20 years before we were even in the building on April Street.
My name is Jamie Gaskin. I'm currently serving as the CEO of the United Way of Genesee County. I started with the club, it's been, 20 years ago, a little before 2004 as its first, as the executive director at a time when the organization had been closed, and was here about the first 8 or 9 years before leaving to work at United Way.
So I got my start at the Boys and Girls Club way back when I was 10 years old, actually. I started going to the club. I was the youngest of my 4 siblings, and my mom, she was a single mom at the time, working hard, looking for opportunities for myself and my brother to stay out of trouble and have fun in a safe place after school. And she really impressed on us that she wanted us to be involved in something positive. She did not want us out on the streets. She didn't want us unsupervised. And she enrolled us in a variety of different things. I did chess club, I did some programs at the Urban League, but the Boys and Girls Club is what really stuck with me. It was just like walking into Disneyland. Honestly, it was, friends and cousins and everyone that I knew in town was there.
It has boosted her confidence. She enjoys coming here, making new friends, sharing ideas with Tazari.
And also the Boys and Girls Clubs had set to the point to where make her feel like she want to be a role model to some of the younger kids as she get older herself, to look back on her becoming, a leader possible. That's what I'm hoping for.
Stabilizing the neighborhood, right? What happens when the school closes? The club has been an anchor for this neighborhood on the east side for many years. The thing that's been huge for me is how many students, how many members have gone on to be successful and have continued to return and give back to the Flint community. It's just been fantastic.
First, every day, the kids, right, there were a handful. Running around these halls, especially in the summer when there were literally hundreds of kids all over the place doing all kinds of crazy things. It was just a place where there was this energy, and when that energy is kind of released, despite all the challenges and all the pointing fingers at each other and all the kids mad at each other for this, that, or the other thing, or it's just that total magnetic energy, and quite frankly, that was the way we convinced people it was a good idea. We'd walk them in this building with 150, 250, 300 kids running around, and people just couldn't believe what was going on.
So looking back over the years at some of our greatest successes, honestly, I'm probably most proud of our response to crisis, from the Flint water crisis and how we were able to rally around our families and partner with other organizations, to more recently the COVID-19 crisis and how the club was able to reopen and serve kids. And we shifted and did a virtual program for a little bit, and then we were virtual learning centers and open from 9 to 5 so kids had a safe place to do their virtual school. I'm really proud of our team and our board and our partners' willingness to honestly try anything and do anything in order to make sure our kids and our families have what they need in order to be happy and healthy.
Well, she tells us sometimes that she feel like that, if something controversial goes on, that she have the need to want to step in and prevent, from escalating to like when kids argue, like kids do, That's what I see in her.
grew up with the club. I wasn't a club kid because there wasn't a club in Flint when I grew up, but I learned how to read financial statements. I learned Robert's Rules of Order. I learned how to adult. I had an amazing set of mentors in the board members. Each one of them has played a pivotal role in my personal growth and development. So while I wasn't a club kid per se, I'm a club kid because I grew up here. I grew up here and I owe a lot of who I am and what I do and how I give back to the relationships that grew from just being a board member and for a little while staff member and now as a parent of club kids.
I'd say that it's the energy around it. Now there are all kinds of funny stories. People remember Bill Lambier, the former Piston player. He was laying on the couch in the teen room when we were opening it, and his keys fell out of his pocket. And we got a call later that night, hey, Bill Lambier lost his keys at the club, which was kind of funny at the time because we found them, and they were actually keys to the Palace of Auburn Hills, like to get in, because he was a coach at the time at the Chalk. And so we took him down to the Palace the night of a Piston game, and we're like knocking on we're like at the security desk, and hey, we got Bill Lambier's keys to the Palace, he forgot them. Like, they thought we were the biggest joke in the world, right? So there are crazy moments that happened here. When we would have either Jim Abbott or some of the great Flint alumni that both were in the NFL and the NBA, and Terry Crews coming in and rapping with the kids and shooting these videos down the halls. Terry was just absolutely hilarious because all the kids just wanted to see him flex his chest like he does in that one particular movie. And when he did that, the kids just lost it. Like,
definitely COVID was a time that none of us really knew what to do. We were scared, we were nervous, but we knew we wanted to do something. And I honestly think that gave us the opportunity to really transform the club and turn it into an organization that's just not an after-school program and kids can come and have fun and hang out, but it's an anchor for the community, and it's an organization that helps provide community members and families with resources that they need in order to thrive. So I'm really proud, and I think that's one of our greatest successes.
Camp Walden. She loves camp. And she also got a scholarship through Boys and Girls Club for dance. So she was in her first
recital.
Yep, her first recital back in June.
You can't do anything without community, right? And so the community, from everyday people to politicians and community leaders, have always wrapped their arms around the Boys and Girls Club. And we used to say how fantastic it was that we had a safe space for children to be outside of their home school. And as we see our school district shrink, unfortunately, Flint was the home of the community schools, and Boys and Girls Club of Greater Flint has just joined that community and filled gaps in the city where the school district maybe could not have. And so I'm just grateful for where we are and how much we've grown and what the future holds.
My first day of work was at a small office at the YWCA with a couple of file boxes, trying to sort out what went wrong with the business of the Boys and Girls Club. How could we restructure it, have a vision, and restart it here in the community?
Can't think of one specific program that I'm proud of, but honestly, overall, especially recently, it seems like I've been able to, reconnect with a lot of our former club members. And maybe it's because we're entering this 20-year anniversary, but Now a lot of the kids who started coming to the club when we just opened are now adults, and they've started their own families, and they're embarking on their careers. And so I've been able to talk to so many young people, or just run into so many young people out and about, and hear about what they're up to and what they're doing. And, you know, it never fails. They always share their favorite memory, or they talk about a favorite staff person that impacted them. And for some of these kids, this is like 15, 20 years ago. So to be able to hear that and hear that they still think about the times, or they ask, you know, hey, does the art room still have those ceiling tiles? Or, you know, do you guys still do carpet ball? You know, it really shows the impact that the club has had. And it makes me feel old, but it makes me feel especially proud when they bring their own children to the club as club members.
As a whole, I think Boys and Girls Club is a 100% need for the children of Flint to be getting involved in, because it offers a lot of opportunity, a lot of after-school activities that most kids don't have the chance to get involved or to do.
Show up, visit, get a tour, write a check. Just being in the building is electric. It's just magic being here, and knowing that there are kids who have a safe place to be after school during the summer. You don't get that feeling driving by. You have to stop by and see the smiles on their faces, and see how hard the staff works to make sure that every kid has exactly what they need to be safe and reach their potential.
You know, during the first 7 years or so, we probably put about $3 million into the building, and that was room by room. This was not a capital campaign that built a brand new fancy building. It was me working 7 days a week, getting volunteers in here, literally cleaning and trying to redo every room, but one at a time. It was a building process. So
I can think of two really memorable experiences. One I was actually there for, one I was not there for the Boys and Girls Club, in terms of the impact that we were able to have on kids and families. The one that I was there for, I had the opportunity, I think probably in 2011 or 2012, I got the opportunity to take a group of club members to Cleveland, Ohio for the weekend. We got an opportunity to visit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Cleveland and interact with their club members and go to a Cleveland Cavaliers game. And it was a really amazing experience where we were able to roll out the red carpet for the kids in Cleveland and our club members. Our kids got the opportunity to, walk around the Cavs arena, go courtside and watch warm-ups, and, go to the team store and pick out whatever they wanted, and also walk around the offices and get that great experience. And before we left and came back home, we were able to go to Rock and Roll Museum, and for at least a couple of the kids, it was their first time out of the state, so it was really cool to be able to give them that experience and give them the opportunity to go and see, an NBA team, which all the kids love NBA basketball, of course, and get to be courtside and, meet their heroes and get that amazing experience.
probably the biggest challenge, it was just the lift of taking an organization that was closed and had unpaid debt to other businesses and organizations. Really, what I did is I took that box of bills and I basically called everybody and I said, this is what we're trying to do. If we've had a relationship that struggled in the past, how can we make it right? So the first steps were really making sure all the relationships that might have been challenged in the past were corrected, right? And then bringing together a group of like-minded people to kind of move this thing forward.
The second opportunity that I wasn't there for, but I've heard a lot about, is our Keystone conferences. Those opportunities for our teenagers to, be leaders in our community are amazing. But when they get the opportunity to go to a Keystone conference and get on a plane and travel to Dallas or travel to California or Florida and go and meet club members from across the country and learn leadership skills and participate in, group activities and service projects. I get to hear about those experiences and see the kids come back with that sense of accomplishment and that pride and that understanding that just because they're from Flint, Michigan doesn't mean they can't succeed. And oftentimes our kids are the ones that go to these conferences and take those leadership roles and really step out and use their voice, which is really cool to see. So the Keystone Conferences are always a huge hit, and I'm always excited when the kids come back and get to talk a little bit about that experience, traveling and meeting their other club members.